This is a part of the table talks with Jada Pinkett Smith or the judges and lawyers of Black River Falls or Baby Mama. Anybody that's trying to understand what inbreeding is or why you can or can't be possessive. Okay. And so possessiveness says, I'm a Rockefeller. And I don't know if I am or I'm not, but I got a big nose. I kind of look like David Rockefeller Jr. some days when I'm looking kind of ugly or beautiful, whichever way you want to look at it. Whatever your brain perceives me as. Then you have a Bloomberg, a Georgina Bloomberg. And if I mate with a Georgina Bloomberg as a Rockefeller, you get a Buffett. You get a Howard Buffett, I think, or a Lily Buffett, one of the two. I don't know which one's the actual kid. All right. So you put a Rockefeller with a Bloomberg, and if you breed them, you get a Buffett. That's kind of the thought process of the four bloodlines of the white culture. This is just the white culture. I don't know which one the fourth bloodline is, the redheads, or if it's the albinos, or I don't know. This is just the white culture bloodline. But to become possessive, I can't, as a Rockefeller, have sex with another Rockefeller, cousin, niece, nephew, brother, or sister. And you have to outsource. Well, can you have sex with a Buffett? This is the tough part. If it takes a Rockefeller, and a Bloomberg to make a Buffett, that's you make the third. The Rockefeller and the Bloomberg make the Buffett. You make the third. Well, if you're a Rockefeller already and you're a Bloomberg and you breed, you get the Buffett. Well, now if Rockefeller breeds with the Buffett, afterwards you actually go back one. It doesn't go forward out one more, it goes back one. And that's what we call inbreeding. Instead of going outbreeding, it's inbreeding. Okay? And that's where that comes from. Cesspool, inbreeding, or what's the other word? See, cesspool, incest, yeah. So cesspool or incest baby, which means a brother, sister, cousin. So you have a Rockefeller, a Bloomberg, and it makes a Buffett. Now, if Bloomberg has sex with a Buffett afterwards, it goes back one the same. Then you would just reverse it. And so it's out one, in one, out one, in one. That's the racketeering of the inbred colony. That's the United States government. This is as simple as it is, that they love themselves more than everybody else. They can't escape their trap because they're always racist, blacks, whites, Mexicans, Indian, woo woo Indian, etc. This is the toughest part. But possessive versus protective is you can't become possessive of one you cannot have sex with. So a Rockefeller can have sex with a Bloomberg, and it makes a Buffett. But now Bloomberg can't be possessive of a Buffett, and a Rockefeller can't be possessive of a Buffett because that's the one they created together. This is when you have to go to a black, you have to go to a Mexican, you got to go to a Indian, you got to go to ooh Indian. That way you're outsourcing, you're never going back inwards. So if Rockefeller has sex with Buffett, it goes back one. If Bloomberg has sex with a Buffett, it goes back one. That's the little trifecta, the Illuminati triangle, the trifecta, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So they're saying that's how you racketeer the most money. And there's a phrase called you keep the money in the family. Well, when you have sex with brother or sister, of course you're going to be richer. Well, if you have sex with a brother and sister, your sister makes money. I'm the brother, I make money. And if you have sex with each other, the kid gets double the money. But that's people that are only money motivated. And it's not smart with intelligence. Your baby ends up only knowing how to, it ends up with like cleft lip or Down syndrome or whatever else. That's inevitably the odds of, our 8 billion people masses. And you can't become possessive of your own brother and sisters because you're not supposed to have sex with it, or your cousins. You're not supposed to have sex with it. And I haven't done this. This is why I'm having this conversation, just making people aware of where this racketeering charges came from with the Donald Trump family, that they may have had sex with themselves, and the Epstein files and some of that stuff. And when you have jealous brothers and sisters, they're out here killing each other or whatever, and they're racketeering because one Trump wants to be more important than the other Trump while they have sex with the same sister, which is the racketeering, which is the Illuminati triangle. Okay, that's where they end up putting it. So this is just the elitist thought process of why that side of government, the inbred, the incest side, always overrules everybody because they just want to control themselves. They want to control their brother and sister, and that's possessive. So it'd be like me. I have a little girl. I gave up custody. Is it a good thing for a dad? Okay, I am a dad. My name is Owen Yule, and my daughter's name is Leah. Okay, is it a good thing for a dad to have sex with his own daughter? That would be possessive. Can I, in not just sociology but the gene splicing, have sex with my own daughter? No, you can't. And I've never done this. I gave up custody. I gave up custody to outsource the breeding because I myself, as a dad, cannot breed with my own daughter. So possessive is saying, you know what? I don't want my daughter to be around any other bloodline, blacks, Mexicans, dot dot Indian, woo woo Indian. And here's the weird part: my baby mama's a Bloomberg, I'm a Rockefeller, and we made a Buffett. So now we have to outsource it. And if you take a piece of paper and write this down, it'll really make sense to you. And I think you guys should do this so that way you understand what's going to happen with their brain, their intelligence. It isn't just breastfeeding and milk. There's bloodlines and everything else. Okay, I'm just putting my warning out there before I move on with life. Okay, can Owen, the father of a little girl, be possessive and say, I want to have sex with it because I think it's beautiful? I'll never catch a little girl as beautiful as my daughter, who actually inevitably kind of looks like Jessica DeLuge, kind of, in a weird way, if you look at their pictures side by side in a scrapbook. Which, all right, great. I just birthed myself a little Jessica DeLuge. So now I'm looking over at Jessica DeLuge. Can I love you? I can't, because whoever bred you must have been a Rockefeller, a Bloomberg, and basically Jessica DeLuge is the Buffett, right? And so, in that weird way, now when I look at Jessica DeLuge, damn, that one looks like my daughter. She's cute. Yeah, I'm attracted to it. But technically, it's the same three trifecta Illuminati pyramid fucking bloodline splice. And for some reason, I'm watching Rockefeller and Bloomberg attempt to get me and Jessica DeLuge to breed another baby because they want one to go back inbred. That's a part of the racketeering. This is how you keep the money in the family. It's smart when you only think about money, but it's stupid when you think about genetics, gene splicing. They'll never be an Albert Einstein. They will never be a Elon Musk. They will never excel in school. And it becomes a concern where I'm watching Bloomberg and Rockefeller tease me with different versions of myself with different last names, but inevitably the same three gene Illuminati triangle bloodline blood splice. And so now they're trying to tease me and say, well, if you have sex with that one, kind of looks like your daughter. Why wouldn't you want to do that? She's pretty. Yeah. Again, protective or possessive. Well, I want to protect it and I want to outsource. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean rape my daughter. This doesn't mean I'm giving the blacks, the natives, the Mexicans, the dot dot Indians, the woo woo Indians the right of way. Please wait till she's at least 25 or 30 minimum before you get her pregnant. Make sure you guys have money together. I'm not mad if a black, a Mexican, a dot dot Indian, a woo Indian actually date my daughter and get her pregnant. Just please wait till 25 or 30. Okay. But what I am saying is I'm trying to outsource it. When you become possessive, it means Owen would want to keep his daughter to himself and say, you know what? I don't want my ex-wife or any of these other bloodlines to have it. And you can't do that. So I'm like looking at Lil Wayne, I'm looking at Birdman, I'm looking at Snoop Dogg, I'm looking at Jay-Z. You can't keep your daughter to yourself. Eventually, you have to grow up as a man and you have to say, you know what? I have to let my daughter go. It's going to be a dot dot Indian, a Polynesian, a woo woo Indian, Mexican, or Native American, or African American, either the political words or the funny words. But you have to allow it. When you get possessive, this is when you go inbred. Okay, so everybody sees Eminem's in self-defense right now. He kind of having a tough time letting Haley go. Hey guys, I love my daughter. I've wrote songs about her. Haley's on a Haley's outside swinging. Stuff like that. My daddy's gone crazy and all this stuff that he's just a cute dad for his daughter. I'm saying she's an adult now. She's over the age of 21. You can let her go. I like cute little scrapbook music videos and stuff like that. I like, When I'm Gone, the song and stuff. Carry on, no more and rejoice every time you hear the sound of daddy's voice. Just hope that I'm looking down on you smiling and maybe not pooping. You never know. But protective is just a song letting her know I'll give you one underdog out of society, and then you got to swing by yourself. You got to learn to swing. Well, what's swinging? In the white culture, swinging is having sex with many people while you're married. It's called swinging. You get bored of your spouse, you allow your spouse to go swinging. So Eminem talks about it. I'll give you one underdog, and then you got to swing by yourself. Okay, so underdog is an underdog of society. Swinging is kind of like prostitution or outsourcing your breeding. So these are different conveyances, different vocabulary words. If anybody out there in society actually comprehends the depth of these things. Now I can't answer for Eminem, but in some street value and intellectual behavior, that's what we call it in that society. So again, am I telling Eminem I'm going to date his daughter next? No, I'm not. But I'm giving him the confidence, saying, well, I think I understand. The Rockefellers have one bloodline, Bloombergs have one bloodline, and if they both mate, they get a Buffett. And you can't not, Rockefellers can't mate with a Buffett, and Bloomberg can't mate with a Buffett because they're the two that created it. Otherwise, it goes back inbred. Okay, so that's the Illuminati triangle. It's a Rockefeller, a Buffett, or a Rockefeller, a Bloomberg, and it creates a Buffett. Okay, and then you bring it back, and it always ends up being the same triangle, the same family. That's what incest is. That's what inbreeding is. So as we sit and discuss these things, that's possessiveness. This is what the Bloombergs and Rockefellers do. That's why they're the richest. Bloomberg has the news. They're the side with the money that continues to generate the money. Rockefellers are the bottom end of the class. They have God's love. They're the food pantry side. And the Buffetts always prey on the Rockefellers, but when they breed, they always make the Buffetts. And the Buffetts are the pretty girls out in society. That's the Sydney Sweeney. That's the Jessica DeLuges. That's the white culture version of it. And everybody's fighting for a Buffett right now, which makes them the prominent key bloodline because for some reason the Buffett bloodline after a Rockefeller and Bloomberg mate become the prettiest. This is just an example. It doesn't mean it's absolutely true, but this is where we get into our cesspool. That's the Illuminati triangle. This is the biggest rumor of them all of how you keep money in the family. And it doesn't make you smarter just because you have more money. It's a cesspool. It means you're having sex with your own cousins and brothers and sisters just because you work hard and you collect a lot of money, whether you're doing construction, whatever else, because that's all the further your brain goes. They never become the Albert Einstein. Those are the workhorses. These are the laborers. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. And then you have the anomalies that sneak up through. Elon Musk mated with a Russian or whatever, or Albert Einstein, mated with a German or something else. Etc. And then they make it out and then they become a genius. Those are the anomalies that aren't a part of that triangle, right? Now you go to genetics and what makes a genius and what makes them think just a little bit further out. No, I'm not a doctor in science, and again, this is just an example. Could be right, could be wrong, but that's basically technically where those values come in of the United States government, and this is what everybody's arguing about right now in terms of this Black Lives Matter. Now the tension's high. All the blacks are staying within the blacks. All the Mexicans are staying within the Mexicans, and all the whites are staying within the whites. And we can't have that. So I'm speaking up on the vouch for this. Donald Trump's punishing the Mexicans, and the blacks are saying, "Hey, we need more money, and we're tired of Section 8, or they're tired of being a drug dealer. Maybe we should switch it out. Maybe the blacks want to run farms now, again." And maybe the whites want to become drug dealers. I don't know which way they were arguing. Black lives matter. I hear you. They matter. So which side is it? Cops and robbers? Doctors versus doctor. It's what side is we playing here? What side do you really want? Are you tired of being drug dealers and you want to run the cornfields down instead of white people and rednecks and putting a piece of straw in their mouth and saying, "I'm gonna go out in the cornfield and I'm gonna plow this field"? Or again, does that feel like slavery to black people? My name is Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte. I'm no longer a slave. I don't want to do whatever accent I just did. I don't want to do the cotton fields anymore. I don't want to do the cornfields anymore. I'd rather be a heroin dealer, cocaine dealer, marijuana dealer. I don't know. I can't answer for you. Okay. My name Owen Yule. I can't answer for Kunta Kinte, and I can't answer for the redneck. I'm sitting here in the middle saying, well, I'm not quite the redneck, and I'm not quite Kunta Kinte. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to get at. but I don't want to be inbred. I want my gene line, my gene splice. I would like to be the next Albert Einstein. So if I mate with a Polynesian or a Native American or a dot dot Indian um, or a Bulgarian, the chances my child might come out a little bit smarter is better because those bloodlines are different, and you don't go back inbred, the cesspool. And that's the point of this video. So on those weird sides of life, the point of this video for myself just to communicate this, protective and possessive of my daughter, I gave up custody. I said, hey, you know what? I might be going on tour soon. I might sign with Shady or Cash Money Records or Young Money or Uvu or Def Jam or Atlantic, or I own my own label. It's called OmoneyRecords. Maybe I might just, find somebody that's going to loan me a little bit of overhead and be the next, Ritz or the next Kasky underneath my own label. Okay. Slum American or Rhyme Sayers Entertainment up in Minnesota, or Tech Nine Strange Music. Okay, there's tons of labels out here. Again, you can work for McDonald's, you can work for Taco Bell, you can work for whatever. Again, Cash Money's McDonald's, they've been around for a while. Shady's, IHOP. We got Death Row over there in California. That would be what, Arby's. You got Capitol Records. That would be I don't know, Pizza Hut, so again, you can jump over to any restaurant you want. You still got to fulfill their contracts in this weird society of their mental illness, and I can't tell you what each person's mental illness is or what their contract said. I can't do that. But back to the thought process, be mindful of each one's breeding syndromes and their racketeering and everything else, because some of them have mental illnesses. Some of them didn't make it out of the three trifecta triangle, and some of them don't want to. So that's just kind of the warning out there. And they're mad at the snitch that I'm doing, and I might get killed because inbred people aren't as smart as Albert Einstein, because they only go Rockefeller, Bloomberg, Buffett. That's all the further they go. They like each other and themselves so much they never escape it. Where I'm saying, hey, I might go after a Bulgarian or a Polynesian or a dot dot Indian or woo woo Indian, okay? Because I like the other cultures. I'm fine with their body types and their exterior and learning about their culture. Te quiero por siempre mi amor, Mexican, or hey, how are ya, in Native American. Um, Bonjour, Telemon in France, or Konnichiwa, in a different, I'm fine with that. I'm a minority, okay, and I care about each culture. I got a buddy that you bury a pig when you get married out in Hawaii. You bury a pig. They call it a luau, right? I think the Asian culture cooks a pig too when they get married. Stuff like that, or the Hmong culture. Okay, and so when you start to respect within the culture, Black Lives Matter shit. We eat chitlins. We cook out some chicken wings. We finna sit around the grill, uh, um, and enjoy our day. Roll up a bleezy, roll up a blunt for shizzle and nizzle. You know what I'm saying, Vern? G-Dog on the ball, so it don't make me dip on you, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's just that cultural appropriation. I would never, on that bitch ass shit, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So just that's the Ebonic side. Should I be cussing and swearing on YouTube, motherfucker? Nah, motherfucker, I shouldn't be cussing and swearing at you. You just never want to fucking swear. You just never want to fucking swear. That's a terrible thing to do. It's a shitty thing to do is to fucking swear in front of the kids. All right, so as I approach all the other cultures and my bad vocabulary and my ebonics, whether I talk politically and say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious anti-disestablishmentarianism, or if I say fuck that shit, motherfucker, that's the most fucked up shit you got. Boy, I'd never fucking swear in front of a kid. I would never fucking swear in front of a kid. Um, so when you go down each cultural appropriation, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? If I'm Native American now, I don't. This is just to break the tension, but we need to sit and think about what Black Lives Matter just did and everything else and how this tension's created right now. For some people it's not, right? Some people it's not created. Some people are still getting along. Hey, Michael B. Jordan, you're black, I'm white. Michael Jackson says it doesn't matter if you're black or white. All I'm saying is now about the teach me about the Rockefeller, Bloomberg that make a Buffett triangle. So is that Jay-Z's a Carter, and then Michael B. Jordan's a Jordan, and then what's the three bloodlines there that you guys breed with? So I know which way I'm headed, so I don't have sex with myself. Can I, Owen Yule, have sex with my little daughter Aaliyah? No, I can't. That would be inbreeding. This is why I gave up custody. Owen, why are you being such a dickhead? Like, why don't you want to see your daughter? Like, why don't you want to? Because it's not good to become possessive over your own child. You can't breed with it. It's a good practice. This should help you in your divorces in the future. This should help you really think about that as men. You can't be jealous. What are you doing hanging out around my daughter? What are you doing? Well, I technically can't breed with Eminem's daughter because that one might be a Buffett. It might be a Rockefeller. If it's a Buffett or a Rockefeller, I can't breed with Haley. All right, so Birdman, Michael B. Jordan, anybody that's getting jealous right now, Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z, even though I might be flirting with Haley every once in a while, she's taken, she's with Evan. All right, but if she's a Buffett and I'm a Rockefeller, well, technically I couldn't even breed with Haley, even if I wanted to go after their money, Eminem's money. You want to know why? Because we'd be going back one bloodline and we'd be inbred and it'll be a dumb baby. So we have to go through this. We need to learn to communicate. Otherwise, the Bloombergs and the Rockefellers and the Buffetts end up controlling it. And they're going to start manipulating your feed. And you're going to be scrolling down and they're going to be putting your next girlfriend, husband, or wife on your feed. And they're going to be controlling who you breed with because they have that information of your bloodline on doctor's note. And that's what's starting to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So please wake up. Otherwise, they're going to control who you're breeding with, which is a good thing if you don't go back inbred. Indian, woo woo Indian, Polynesian, Asian, Hmong, Japanese, Chinese, poop fart, smelly smell, vagina, penis. Anyways, I think I reach what I think we're going after, and that's what the Illuminati triangle is. It's Rockefeller, Bloomberg, and they make a Buffett, and the Buffett's the prettiest one. Which then, again, a Rockefeller can't breed with Buffett, and a Bloomberg can't rebreed with Buffett because then it actually comes backwards. That's what the triangle is. That's the system, and unfortunately, you're always fighting their bigger family. Bloomberg owns one half, Rockefeller owns one half, and the Buffetts are just the pretty ones out chasing around that work for Playboy that we all beat off to. That's the gist of it, so I hope you guys have a pretty good day. That's it.